Hello, boys! We are back. Another week of the MMA Analysis podcast. Wes tried to get me again. Almost did this week, but I held off. Brad you may see him. You may not see him. He's part pixel, part human. So we'll see. He loves that Canadian government, but they can't get him a laptop and internet connection up there. So, there are faults to everything. We're good. We're back. We had another win last week. Pretty easy one. We'll talk about that in a bit. We got racing on a Wednesday. Wes is excited. Nushan, I don't think they've come up with a start date for the NHL yet. Every other sport has one. Well, not MLB because it doesn't seem like they're ever going to have one. But
does basketball? When are we starting basketball?
The end of July.
They're on training August 1st or what?
Training camp starts the beginning of July. Yes.
But do they actually have finalized dates of when the first games are going to be?
They have a specifically proposed dates. I thought it was approved by the NBA Board of Governors.
Well, the baseball players aren't coming. They're fucking still fighting. They want more money.
Who, the baseball players?
Yeah.
The baseball players might be the last to come back. They can't decide.
They might not come back.
I don't know if they're going to play 50 games, 80 games. They don't know what they want.
I don't think you're going to get baseball. They're not fucking around. They're like, fuck y'all. We want our full fucking money. That baseball still got them crazy ass guaranteed contracts, man. They're not fucking around.
Yeah. Asking Mike Trout to make $5 million. He's like, fuck it, I'll sit on the couch instead. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I'm supposed to make like 40.
That sounds like somebody else we know. Someone else doesn't want to get paid $5 million. They want to get paid $30 or $40 million to step in the cage. He's saying, I'm retired. I'm like, are you sure?
So some of the best television that you'll watch is Dominic Foxworth just absolutely grilling Dana on Get Up the other day. A guy that actually has been involved in labor negotiations for players and shit, and just Dana's all like, I run my business, just going full turnip head, turning red, fucking screaming and hollering. Foxworth's like, all I know is when you get more people that are going to be tired of this and want more money, you're going to have a problem on your hands. I'm out here. Nobody's getting laid off. And Foxworth is just like, go ahead and scream, dog.
That video was awesome because he did it so subtly. He like wasn't trying to be really like butting heads with Dana. He was just like stating
He's been
facts.
in negotiations before,
I know. When you get a guy that like knows what the fuck a little bit what he's talking about, then it just frazzles Dana. That's hilarious. Just puts like MMA fucking media to shame.
I'll tell you. I'll give you guys a question. We'll kind of start the show that way. I'm going to name 4 guys for you: Cejudo, Masvidal, McGregor, and Jones. How many of those 4 fight in the UFC again ever?
All of them.
Yeah, I would probably say all of them too.
All of them. There's no doubt about it.
Cejudo comes back in a bit.
Let me ask you.
I would say at least
let me ask you a question on your question.
Yeah, okay.
How many of those guys, if they come back and fight, get more money than they would have got than they would have gotten if they hadn't sat out?
Of course, all of them. Otherwise, they don't come back.
All of them are gonna make more money for doing this. Every single one of them.
I mean, you're probably going to work some sort of new contract or come up with some sort of agreement. It's like, I feel like coming back. I mean, no, it's not. That's always not how it works.
Another statement: if they all do come back, get a little more money, how many of them completely shut their mouths and not speak up for any of the other fighters going forward?
Probably all.
Every single one of them.
I know. That's why, like, the UFC could like really get this out of the way and just pay some guys some more money. And
Cejudo and Masvidal,
it's only a handful of guys.
Cejudo and Masvidal have nothing to stand on, and they were never going to be about that. John's just weird enough to comment on everything else, so he might. And then McGregor could like try to be hero at some point. He does like to play hero. I don't know. Is this the hero? I don't see it.
That's the thing. They need like all of those guys collectively because
I can actually hear you guys this time. Fuck! I just pressed the power button on my phone and it's gonna fuck it all up. God damn it! This is
Technical difficulties, baby. We're fucking live, Brad.
This is good stuff.
Love it.
No recording now. There is.
Oh, it's good stuff.
All right, I think I saved it.
How you doing, Brad?
Excellent.
There we go.
Having a great night, as you can tell.
Yeah, but couldn't even introduce him. He introduced himself this time. He needed to.
Yeah. Was it right on cue, too?
No, we've been going for about 5.5 minutes.
Nice. I probably didn't miss anything. What are we talking about? Bubba? We talking about Bubba?
Not
yet.
yet.
We haven't gone to that yet.
We're talking about how the UFC is stupid and they could just fork over a little more money and a bunch of fighters would be quiet and they wouldn't have to worry about an uprising for like another couple years.
Oh, yeah.
But they're dumb. They'll just dig their heels in and they'll
Idiots.
just be like, okay, well, I mean, that's what they did with Burns. That's why Burns is fighting for a title. I mean, that should be Masvidal.
It tells me that they're trying to save as much money as possible because they're going to try and unload this thing as soon as they can.
Yep, I think you're completely right about that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
They know they're in deep. I think they know they're in deep.
With how WME is doing Endeavor or whatever, like they probably want to get as much money as they can back from this because they're in a bit rough shape. So,
well, I mean, it's been reported like right now their only major source of income with all the movie productions and shit, and they own a lot in like theaters and shit like that, like movie theaters and shit. They're
no, a theater.
Oh, sorry, I missed.
Their big chunk of income right now is fucking the ESPN deal with UFC. That's like a big chunk of their fucking income, and it's not coming in.
Supposedly they're starting filming again, but yeah, that is definitely the case. Wes.
Well, I mean, everything's about to go back to normal. Like now, people just
doing whatever.
The corona's gone. It's over. Like our boy Lance likes to say, it's over. I'm going to Gulf Shores. This shit's done. Let's go. Let's party.
It's Hilton Head this year. Okay, he's moving on up. He's got to get that. He's got to get that.
No, he's getting the COVID discount.
Right.
What it is.
No, that's the Kelton. We're gonna start calling that the Kelton discount.
Except Lance probably would have actually got a good one.
Oh yeah.
Not
$150, guys. Should I take it?
Fucking so worth it.
My God.
Ends up getting stranded for a month.
Yeah, ends up being out at sea for like 6 months.
Oh
God, he wouldn't even have a collar left on his shirt.
No, it would be chewed up.
Yep, chewed up. Bottom parts of headband, trying to stop the sweat. Oh, dude,
tremendous.
He went full Tout Marley on day 3, sleeves gone.
They needed to show.
Was anybody surprised that Fight Island isn't actually
No
Caribbean Island? That it's a place they've already fought before?
This is peak UFC. They can't make anything cool.
UFC is to Abu Dhabi. WWE is to Saudi Arabia, though, in my opinion. I wonder how much money they're getting paid.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what it is. They're getting a shitload of money, and they're like, yes, we want that right now.
We'll pay you $8 million. We'll pay you $30 million for these 4 cards. Sounds great. Where is it? Oh, fine. We've been there before.
Yeah, that's fucking. But like, remember Dana was talking about building this shit? Like, they're not
The
building. They're just
infrastructure
renting out a
shit.
part of the fucking
Why
island.
would you do that when someone's paying you to do the event?
Look,
Better.
He said we're building infrastructure. They're literally hosting on a place that the Saudis spent like $50 billion making a fake island out in the middle of nowhere. Like, you ain't building fucking shit. Like, that is one of the best man-made fucking structures that's ever been completed. And he's like, we're building infrastructure. We're gonna have this go. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. People really thought it was gonna be like some Bodog type shit. You know, like Cage on the beam.
You know what? Honestly, when I think of fights on an island, that's just what I think of. I
think people think it's like Lost or Castaway, and it's just like this like little scenic spot like on this island, and there's like, oh, there's a mountain on top and some rocks, and you just like throw a cage. Like, come on now, that doesn't exist. How are they going to get
That
me there? Where are they
that
going
would have
to
been
be?
cool.
They got-
right?
they got-
What are they going to
they-
tent up like Firefest? Like, come on now. What are we
They
doing?
have a private airline that they fucking rented that are gonna fly people.
I mean,
To Abu Dhabi? Yeah, but there's
yeah,
plenty of
what's
hotels there. I
their
mean,
airline?
5-star accommodations. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
What's their airlines over there?
Qatari?
Emirates?
Yeah,
or
Emirates,
Qatari.
Arab
They just
Emirates or whatever.
literally lent them a plane. Like, yeah, get all your fucking people here. You know? What I'm
Yeah.
saying?
no skin off my back.
Did you see when they're having fights? Guys are gonna be fighting at 3-4 in the morning.
Nah, it's
And
not
it-
that
Oh
early.
yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and it's
It is.
still
I
going to be like 100
I
degrees.
thought the paper. Oh,
That'll be
because
like the main
pay-per-view.
events and stuff.
Oh yeah. So it's like we've done that before. That's not uncommon. It's stupid to me, but Australia's done
They
that.
haven't done it for a while, and like, fuck, man, that's if fighting right now isn't enough. Fucked up training. You gotta fly to these weird ass places. Now you gotta fight at fucking 4 in the morning. I'm sure we're gonna have peak
Just to
performance
sell
in
you-
fucking 95-degree Fahrenheit weather at
Just to
fucking
sell
3 in the morning.
US
3 in the morning.
Come on,
Yep.
man. It's not even
It's
that
gonna
much
be
of a
fucking
time
nightmare.
difference. It's just date. It's just be normal time here in Europe. It's west, and most of the
Well,
world.
that's why they did that. They did it for I don't know, maybe the other ones are going to be afternoon cards, but the pay-per-view is fucking the same time as it always is in North America. But that just fucks everybody over there. Like
There's a listener asking a question on I guess Fox Sports' I don't use the Fox Sports betting app that an over under significant strikes in Vittori Roberson is 1.5 strikes. Is that correct? I mean, that seems like a free win if you ask me, because one strike is
yeah,
Some of the
I
weirdest
don't
shit I
think
ever heard.
I don't think that's an actual bet. He
Yeah,
he
and
might
if
be
it
reading
is,
it wrong. I don't
but
know.
if it is, it's probably one of those odd boost bets because they're doing a bunch of them for these fights and shit. Like,
Yeah, to get deposits.
yeah, to get deposits and shit. They do a bet that literally can't lose and shit. Like, they got one on Rory McIlroy for the golf shit starting tomorrow on, I think it's DraftKings, that literally can't lose. They just want you to deposit.
that was like whatever the first.
It's like Rory makes cut plus 200.
There was something. I think it was the Ferguson Gaethje fight last 12 seconds or something, and it paid. What was I gonna say? Wes, one of the listeners wants you to say the last name of the Nogs.
Norgaro. I can get that shit.
That's
Come on. That's got to be close.
was it
Nogueira.
ending? Yeah,
I
Nogueira.
don't have a fucking Brazilian accent. I got a
You got a
fucking
Brazilian
redneck bumpkin accent. Like, the fuck?
So we
All I know is on fucking the Google chat, you can put the fucking
captions. Wonderful,
the subtitles on there, and it picks my shit up fine. So
but not those Brazilian last names.
They'll get you. They'll fucking get you.
They always do.
how many fucking fighter names have I completely obliterated over the last 4 or 5 years?
Haven't we all?
Hundreds? Like,
This guy's saying it's a $2,000 bet on that significant strikes prop. I mean, that doesn't seem real. I don't. That's a lot of money. I don't see that being accurate. And maybe that's supposed to be rounds and not strike.
Yeah, it should be rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But unless it's some other weird fucking.
yeah,
but-
if it's an odds boost or something like that, it's going to be like $50 or some shit like that. It's going to be
That's how they get you.
tiny shit.
That's exactly how they get you.
Do they have crazy rollovers on these fucking legalized? Like, if you do the bonuses and shit like that, do you have to roll it over like other books, like online and shit like that?
Roll it over to what?
Oh, what the fuck?
Like, you can't, like, so all these
Wes
fucking.
died in NASCAR land. Don't mind him. He's online. He's online waiting for his hot dog at Martinsville. Don't worry.
A lot of these,
We'll get you some French's mustard. They should be a sponsor. What was your?
of these online sites? They'll give you like 100% bonus up to like $200, but you
Yeah.
can't withdraw the money until you bet like sometimes it's 10 times whatever the bonus is. So
Yep,
you have to
like a
bet
10
like
times
fucking-
rollover.
That's like an online. That's like a. That's
But
an
that's what I'm asking. When
The
when they have
offshores
these-
are like that. Like the domestic
the
books
legal
that
ones.
I use,
I don't think
you just
they're
have to-
that bad.
You just have to bet the amount. Like I think it's like a It's usually a 1x. So
It's like a one time, yeah.
if you get they'll give you say you bet 200, you get $200. Like you just got to do that one time and you can take it out. Like bet $200 again. It's not. There's no crazy multiple.
Yeah, it's
not that I've experienced.
Yeah, it's nothing like what online books do. They'll have 5, 10 times rollovers.
Have you guys ever heard of Fox Bet? I've never seen that before. Is that a legal one down?
Fox Bet
or some shit?
Yeah,
I've never used it or even really looked at it, but I've seen it tweeted out and mentioned on TV and whatnot. It's connected to Fox. It's connected to Fox Sports.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this dude sent me. It says over 1.5 total significant strikes landed, minus 118. So I don't know what the fuck's going on there, but I hope they don't refund that.
There's a $2,000 bet possibility.
Yeah, so I hope it cashes, and I hope our buddy doesn't get his account fucking banned or any shit like that. I guess they don't do that for the legal stuff, but that's awesome.
It's a Pennsylvania site apparently. That doesn't work. That won't work for me, but okay. I guess we should talk about last week's card. That was an entertaining experience.
Until the last fight.
Canadian pound for pound, number 4.
She is not Canadian. That's a Floridian right there.
Stop with that. Born in Canada. Definitely born in Canada.
She fucking spent 3 years here.
That doesn't matter. She learned how to roll in your home country. So
I don't believe that. She's been rolling in fucking Florida.
That's fine. Herbert Burns, first fight of the card. Herbert Burns subbed Evan Dunham. Who thought Evan Dunham had a shot in this fight? Who in this group thought Evan Dunham could win? I thought somebody bet him.
Nope.
Okay.
No.
I want to fade Herbert Burns because I still think he's shit, but you can't back the fucking corpse of Evan Dunham in 2020.
He is a corpse. It is bad news. Really bad. Not good. Yeah. I mean, Herbert Burns. I mean, the Burns juju is at an all-time high right now, though.
It's the garage. It's the motherfucking garage.
Yeah. Tell us about the garage.
Win in fucking quarantine times.
Is this our best angle of all time?
Seems to be. It's perfect coincidence.
It's 3-0.
Mm-hmm.
It's perfect.
3-0.
Brad, what do you think about that? Is this our best angle? Uh-oh.
Brad's freezing again.
He's so stunned by the garage that he has no response. Let's just keep him there in the background.
His herd of mice are running on those fucking wheels so hard right now, trying to get that internet pumping.
Overdrive, baby.
There he is.
Oh shit!
Brad, did you hear us? Are you still frozen in time? Thanks, Brad, for your
perfect. Oh, see you, Brad.
All right. Alonzo Menafield, I think he was undefeated heading into this fight with Devin Clark. Looked good early. Didn't finish well, though, for him. What do you got for me?
He got gassy. I think the longest he had ever fought was a minute or something into the second round, or 30 seconds into the second round, and you can tell he got tired after he couldn't finish Clark in the first, and it got a gassy mess. Can't believe anybody gave Clark the first, but that's judging in this day and age.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Lance bet fucking Evan Dunham. That's who. That's
what I thought it might have been. Lance. Lance, he's such a mook. he just can't put aside his biases. That's been his MO. This was impressive. Alex Perez looked excellent against Jussier Formiga. Those lower leg kicks, lower Brazilian fighter. That doesn't happen very often. No, it does not happen often. Very impressive. Formiga been top 5 in this weight class for 5 years, and Alex Perez TKOs him the first round.
I didn't even think Formiga looked that bad on the feet. It's just Perez was just unbelievable on those calf kicks. Just fucking shut it down. That was the most active I've seen Formiga in a long time. But those calf kicks will completely change a fight, and it's crazy it's taken this long for them to get popular, but fuck do they do big damage. Wes, you had a pretty big bet on Perez, didn't you?
I mean, not huge. There was other spots I liked more, but
Yep.
I saw a lot of people on Juicy, man. I understood it. I thought it was, it was definitely going to be Perez's biggest test to date, no doubt. But I think the kid's good. I think he's really good. And he still beat an aging guy down at that weight class. So I want to see a little more, but I think the kid's good.
Yeah.
It looks good. I think Lance got this one right. Mackie Patolo.
Coconut
Looking at those
bombs.
combo knockouts of Charles Bird. This was a pretty savage beating in that second round.
Fucking Wes. Wes is loving this NASCAR.
Oh,
How many laps are left, Wes?
A lot.
150.
Jesus Christ. Did
So
you
sure.
watch that fight? Patolo versus Bird?
Yeah, I degened a bet on coconut bombs like
There
right before
we
the
go.
fight at some. Well, he was plus money, so yeah, just a
Yeah.
small bet. But yeah, I mean, he's still. I think he's gonna be small for that weight, though, man. I know he said he liked moving up and felt better, but man, Bird kind of bodied him a lot in that fight until he caught the knockout. But yeah, dude hits like
weight.
he hits like a truck, man. He does. It was fun.
Yeah.
Those guys are always that way.
I don't know how good he is. Like
Yeah. I don't think I'm not sure.
Brad,
I agree with you.
Commenting in the chat.
Yeah, Brad tapped out. Technical difficulties. He's not going to be with us tonight, unfortunately.
That's freaking lame.
That
But that's
Ontario-
fine.
that Ontario internet.
Yeah, he should ask the government for internet feed. Brad, I know you can hear me. Connect with your government. They give you everything else. They can get you internet and a computer. It's okay. All right. One I loved. This was my favorite play on the entire card. Cody Stamann, the Mr. Decision, easily beat Brian Kelleher. Stamann's pretty good. Featherweight's my favorite division in MMA. Well, the second favorite division. We'll get to the favorite division, but very good division.
Can be there though.
Stamann's like around top 10 now. I think 11, 10, something like that in that featherweight division. He's pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not sure he's gonna be there right now though. He's talking about going back down to 135, but we'll see how that works out. This I know he was like a little over 2-1 fave, but that was still kind of dumb, man. And I like Kelleher.
Could have been 350.
I've made some money on Kelleher now. He did start looking a little slow in the third round, but you probably will after you fucking throw as many punches on oh boy as he did for 10 minutes. So it was a good performance for Stamann. I think he's probably going to be better at 135 if he can safely make the weight though, because he's just going to be small up there. He even said it after the fight. I'm just a little too small up here at 145. So, but later on, man, that's a guy I could see that could fight both weight classes for sure.
It sure seems that way.
Kelleher can take it, but at the upper
he's not great.
He's just
anything.
not good enough, man. He can take it.
Yeah.
Like I said, he can take it to last long enough. So if you're not decent, he can catch you and shit like that. But he's kind of reached his peak, that's for sure.
Ian Heinisch and Meerkat.
Shout out to the boys in Colorado.
Got the job done. Heinisch looking all world out there, taking out Meerkat.
He ain't that good.
I would have liked to see this fight if it went longer. I mean, he landed the punch. It was like the perfect spot. Mearshart can usually take a beating. It was a perfectly landed punch, but I'm probably doubling down and gonna lose more money on him in a couple weeks when I
what is that fight again?
Fade him against Brendan Allen.
Oh yeah. Is there a line out on that fight yet?
There is.
What is it?
It is. Is
it Heinisch minus 145?
No, he's smaller than that. Where is it? I just fucking saw it. Oh yeah, he's minus 120.
I mean, if you bet though Meerkat against him, you absolutely have to bet Brandon Allen against him. I mean, you have.
I bet.
I mean, Allen is good. Like that guy can scrap. I think he's on like a 8 or 9 fight winning streak or something like that. Like,
he's a tough guy to beat. That's what
that guy is good. He can take a punch. He's not going to be gassing out. He's not going to be waiting on Heinisch to gas out, and he grinds, man. He will gas Heinisch out. So we're going to see more of the usual Heinisch, I think, against Brendan Allen. I mean, he got me too in this one. Props to him. He caught the punch. It landed.
Yep.
I just don't see him doing that to Allen. I just can't see him doing that.
Let's hope not.
Yeah, that'd be pathetic. Alex Caceres and I know Wes has a lot to say about Chase Hooper. I don't know if he has a nickname for him yet, but woof, this kid came in with a good amount of hype, and man, he laid it. This is a dud, total dud. I mean, he is terrible.
Look, I wouldn't go that far.
No, yes, you would.
I think if you take the gambling aspect out of it, this isn't that bad. Like it is bad because
it's not competitive.
He was terrible. He's terrible on the feet, but I mean, he kind of looked that way in his last UFC fight. It's just everybody kind of thought he would, progress a bit. But if you take Caceres has been in there a lot. He's beat some okay fighters. So,
and that performance was that's as good as you're going to get out of Alex Caceres, whether it be Chase Hooper or any other bum. That's as good. Caceres fought a smart technical fight. How often do we see that out of him against anybody?
Yeah, that's true.
That dude never fights like that. He went in there to fight to win. And, man, Hooper's still fucking like 18 years old, man. Like, or whatever the fuck, 18, 19 years.
Yeah,
he shouldn't even be in the UFC.
No.
Like, he really shouldn't. He should be fighting in another organization.
I heard he had a developmental contract. I don't know why they put him on a main card, though, against a veteran, though. That's what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
I think he did have he fought a couple more times.
He went and fought in the regional scene.
He won
after the contender series, and he won.
Yeah, he won like 3 fights. They had to bring him back.
And then they matched him up with the shitty Tamer, so then he was obviously able to win his UFC debut.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If you know you're going to get that Caceres every time out, I mean, he was like closed at plus 220 or some shit like it. That was just bad, but he would have never been that price against Hooper if you knew you was going to get a consistent Caceres like the guy that showed up that night. The dude's he's always had skills. He's just been a fucking mook. You never knew who was going to
lose, right?
Yeah. And that fight, he literally did all the right things.
Fight, he had Faber in big trouble.
Doing all right.
Yeah.
But I mean, like Sean did, if I'd have saw Hooper at minus 110, I'd have been on Hooper in that fight. Like straight up, I'd have bet him at that price going in. That's hindsight taken out of it. But yeah, I mean, if that Caceres is going to show up every fight, you have to start reevaluating how you look at him. Now, he could go smoke a bunch of fucking weed, grow his fucking hair out a few more inches, and come back and go straight mook again. You just never know with that cat.
Mook or mook again?
Ooh.
Brad says the Hooper Scooper. How's that for a nickname?
Because he's all shit.
Yeah, he's covered.
Because he's pure shit.
He's so shit. He's unbelievable.
Yep.
Main card.
Oh, Martin.
This was excellent. Sean O'Malley, Eddie Wineland.
God damn.
First couple minutes, O'Malley really didn't do anything, but a little fake, a little jib, knockout city. Wineland faced. He was out cold. That was cold. That was cold.
I bet the over on here too. I had O'Malley in a couple of chalk parlays. But I bet the over. But man, I didn't look. It was a nice punch, but it was as basic as you get. Man, it was clean. It was nice. He set it up nicely. Basic fucking straight right hand, and I mean it obliterated Wineland. Wineland's done. He's toast, like straight up. That's a punch that you usually have to take 9 times out of 10 to be still in this game. He's done. That guy's done now. Oh, that punch was nice, man. O'Malley's stand-up is fucking clean, dude. They got to raise up his level of competition. I will say I like how him and Cody's into some words and shit. I wouldn't hate seeing
what O'Malley said that that Cody's looks like a bar fight knockout.
Did you see the punch and dummy video he did? Like
That's good.
Yeah, that was funny. I give it to him. Like, kid's got some.
Mally should shut his mouth though. He's got that's a different kind of cat who throws real bombs though.
I mean, that's another thing. But
Cody's chin is dramatic, so
I like hearing him talk. I think the kid's got a decent personality, man. Like, if O'Malley is good. Like, if he ends up being a really good fighter, like he could be, that kid could be a fucking absolute star. He really could. He could be a star in this sport.
He said in some interviews that he's not going to fight any better guys unless they pay him more, which is fucking.
Well, if they're going to do a fight with him and Garbrandt, I think it should.
Well, I just don't know.
I think it should be a main event at that point. I would be down. I mean,
that would be
for that.
I like that. I like that kind of talk personally. It shows me that the kid isn't dumb about the situation going on around him, even for his age. But that might not be good for his career. Even though that's what we like to hear. That's probably
give him a fucking ranked fighter first. Jesus
Christ. Fight though.
He should not be fighting Garbrandt next.
But
absolutely not.
Let's be honest. He could win that fight.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not the point. You don't need to rush that guy, especially when there's like other fun matchups.
And do you want to ruin
stuff like that?
Either one of them at this point? Like, Garbrandt just got a crazy good win. We'll talk about it. He needs somebody more that he can compete with, not a young stud like him. And what if Garbrandt catches him like he just did? Oh boy, you don't want to run either one of them right now.
Yeah, that's true. Another day. But we'll see. I mean, if they talk about it, they keep talking about it, and there's demand for it. It could happen. I wouldn't be shocked if it happened.
O'Malley's trying to talk himself into it. I think O'Malley wants it. Garbrandt, he doesn't even want to deal with it.
Yeah,
but
why would?
Yeah, it doesn't do nothing for Garbrandt.
Yeah,
that's
not
absolutely nothing for him.
Yep.
All right, Neil Magny, consensus
magnified.
Consensus bet. Winner.
My biggest bet is tonight by
winner
far.
Over Rocco Martin. Weren't there some people saying that Martin won this fight?
That's because they were listening to that shitty commentary that was.
Here we go.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, they need to fire all those guys, man. Like, Rogan is beyond gone.
He doesn't give a fuck, man. He just shows up. He just shows up.
Take a look in the Wes. Take a look in the chat. I think we know somebody here might be one of your favorites. He might be in the live chat. You know who I'm talking about.
Moving, Jerry. It's moving, Jerry.
Uh-huh. He's back. But yeah, that was a good win for Magny. We're moving lines here. We're making wins, and you don't have to pay for it.
I think we all kind of we read broke this down how this fight would play out about perfectly. Magny did kind of start a little bit slow, I think, but he's known to do that. But man, once he got that third round was just straight fucking a truck show. Now, people scoring this for Tony Martin, like, seriously, there were I think every round Magny had doubled his significant strike numbers. Now, I don't put a ton in those numbers all together, but there were large
wide
when it's that big of a difference. And there was big chunks that whenever Martin had any kind of control in that fight, it was him straight up bear hugging Magny and doing nothing.
He was just stalling.
Bear hugging him and laying against the cage, not hitting his thigh, not throwing a knee, absolutely nothing. You're a fucking moron if you're scoring rounds for a guy that's doing that in today's MMA. You're a fucking moron. And I'm a guy that I prefer cage control and stuff like that in really close rounds. I do lean towards that guy, but not if he's just hugging him, not doing shit at all. You're crazy if you scored that fight for fucking Tony Martin. That was Magny all day. Massive bet. Like, we all called that perfectly. And free. You could be betting like minus 300 mooks and parlays. And
Didn't we talk about like Magny being able to push him up against the cage, just having a size advantage and a strength advantage?
Yes, Derek. Yellow card that motherfucker. Exactly right. He'd have got fucking the red card. All that stalling, that motherfucker would have been red carded, disqualified.
Now, the three fights that were the clear three best fights on the card, at least on paper, Wes was very excited about the result of this fight. Corey Sandhagen, Aljamain Sterling. 1 minute and 28 seconds is all it took. A quick takedown from Sterling, wrapped up a submission, didn't get the choke out the first time, but the second time forces the tap. Aljo's winning streak continues. He's on a tear.
I think he's going to be the champ. Like I really do. Now shout out to Brad. He's not fucking his hamsters died. Ran out of Monster Energy to drink. Brad called it perfect. I mean, he broke the fight down perfect. Aljo getting inside, getting it to the ground. I didn't think it would be that easy. He's a night. I keep saying, I've said it for over a year now. He is a nightmare matchup for every guy in that division. I don't care how good they're. Like, I love Jan as much as the next guy. I watched Jan for longer than most of these dudes. Aljo's a matchup nightmare for that guy. Like, it takes one takedown, and Jan's in some fucking trouble. Nobody in the division has their game as well rounded as Aljo at this point. Yeah. Their overall game, some are better, a little bit better strikers. I don't think any are better per se wrestlers, and definitely not straight up grappling guys. None of the division is better than him at that. He's a problem. He's going to beat Jan. Jan's going to win that fight. It's going to be Sterling and Jan. It's going to be just an incredible fight. And Sterling's going to have that belt, man. Sandhagen will be back. I think we're going to see Sterling and Sandhagen fight again. It's absolutely going to happen. I don't think it's going to be as one-sided if they fight again as this time, but who knows, man? Sterling is that good. He's that well-rounded. He's that much of a matchup nightmare for everybody.
Sandhagen has to improve on his ability to take, to prevent the takedown if he's going to be championship level. That's just the reality of it.
As a guy that had a bet on Sterling, I was obviously happy, but as a fight fan, I kind of wished it played out a little longer just to see if Sandhagen is kind of there at all.
He's the goods.
I don't know if this was something that Sterling clued in on, because he just went fucking for it right off the bat. And I mean, in Sandhagen's first fight in the UFC, Alcantara kind of almost fucked him up and submitted him in the first two. So I don't know if he's just a slow starter or what it is, but yeah, that was super impressive by Sterling, and I agree with Wes. He's going to be the next champ.
That's fair. Next fight, my second lock of the night, Cody Garbrandt against Rafael Assunção. The speed advantage was astronomical in this fight. The age, I mean, it's hard to win fights, a speed fight, when you're like 37, 38 years old and at 135 pounds. Cody Garbrandt had been knocked out 3 times in a row, but Assunção doesn't have power. He throws pillows. He's a counter striker. And yeah, Garbrandt looked great, and then obviously the end of round 2 landed. In my opinion,
it was great.
This is very close to a top 10 knockout all time in UFC history. It's very close.
Against a good opponent too.
Yeah, it was great. It was a great knockout. He put Assunção face first down, man. It's pretty brutal.
Garbrandt looked good in the first, but he wasn't doing much in the second before kind of what happened. Like I thought he edged the round, but there wasn't much going on, and Assunção was doing better in the second round. So I don't know how good Garbrandt is. I really liked him in this matchup, but I guess we'll see who they match him up with. He definitely looked a little more composed than other fights, but he also didn't really get cracked, and that's kind of when he loses composure. So until he gets hit with something good, I don't think we'll know how he's actually going to react. But yeah, it looked good. Awesome knockout, that's for sure.
When Cody starts dancing, he's in it, man. He's in that. He's like that. Whatever, like Sean Kemp in NBA Jam or something. Like once he's got that, like
on fire.
He's on fire. That's his thing. He's when he's on, and he felt like he was on, and that's how it is. He's one of the few guys. He's one of the few guys in MMA that kind of has that kind of thing. Like, really, you know pretty quickly if he's on, and he lets everyone else know he's on too.
Yeah, but like Sean said, it's easy to be on against a 38-year-old bantamweight that is a counter puncher with no power. Like that's it was literally the perfect decent name matchup that Cody could have. We all know Cody's got the offensive striking skills. His boxing is some of the cleanest that you'll see, but like Sean said, we just won't really know how much he's still there until he gets clocked by somebody for real. But I mean, he looked great. That knockout was, like you said, Jay, it was an all-timer. I mean, he literally reached down from fucking Birmingham, Alabama, and fucking knocked him out, dude. It was brutal.
All the way from Cleveland down to Birmingham. That's good. I like that. That's good. That's true. It was an all-timer. Main event. Uh-oh.
Yeah.
I mean, I get that Nunes is, excellent. There's no doubt she's an excellent fighter. Spencer, at this point, is just a fighter who's now gone to decisions with Cyborg and
got her ass whooped twice.
And Nunes got her ass kicked twice. She can't do anything when she's on the feet. I mean, she does a decent enough job of defending, but man, nothing there.
Man. Even that, Nunes was having her way. I don't know if there's any chick on the planet that could take those shots that she was taking. I mean, she took a bunch against Cyborg, so she is tougher than a $2 steak, I guess.
Durandame gave her a better fight.
Yeah, Durandame was. Oh yeah, she was.
Durandame gave her one of her best fights.
Durandame's probably a better striker than her or Cyborg at this point. A pure technical striker. She just doesn't have no fucking ground game whatsoever. No.
Yeah,
Spencer's the complete opposite. Like she had enough to survive on the mat.
Looked like Nunes almost took off the fifth. She wasn't really smashing her that hard. She kind of felt bad. I mean, this fight could have been over after the third. I know people are saying, "Oh, she didn't drop her. She wasn't in that much damage," but like there was 0% chance she was gonna win after that third round. 0. She couldn't get a takedown. She was absolutely getting smoked on the feet, getting smashed on the ground. She had a 0% chance to win, and of course, her corner is not going to stop it because it's MMA. But like all she did was just take more of a beating that was unnecessary. But
yeah, the damage really added up. Man, her face was just fucking swelled up, fucking swelling on her foot. Like seriously, like you got a fighter that's so young in the game like that. Like Nunes is going to be moving on here, so why even waste your fighter that much? Like, I know you want to think it, like Sean said, it's MMA. They want to act tough and shit. Save your fighter. There was literally 0 chance of her when she wasn't going to catch some big knockout. Was never going to happen. She's not catching Nunes in some crazy sub on the mat. That was never going to happen. Save her to fight another day, man. Like she's going to have a chance to have that belt once Nunes moves on. Like prolong her career as long as you can. Taking beatings like that is just never good, man. Nunes let her hang on though. Like I had a good bet on inside the distance, and I had a feeling after the third round when they didn't stop it and shit like that. Nunes does that. She'll take a little off. That fifth round, she just wasn't. She didn't care.
Laid on her.
Yeah, she wasn't trying to.
She was just. She was staying in the guard. She wasn't doing much damage. She just rode it out.
Yeah, so I knew that was dead. And then I don't know. Nunes is so good. I mean, in a lot of people don't like women's MMA. I like women's MMA at that level and
the elite level,
and fighters like Nunes and Cyborg and shit like that. But what the hell do you do with her now? Like she's so fucking good.
Shevchenko again?
Nobody pray that Aldana beats fucking Holly Holm. That's what you do if you're the UFC. Because if they don't, then you literally have no one to match her up against.
But we even know what's gonna happen.
I
know,
but it's just another. It's just somebody that she hasn't fought. She's literally cleaned out the fucking division.
How can Aldana be favored over Holm?
2 division.
What has Aldana done to be favored over Holm? I'm sorry, I don't see how that's possible.
I mean,
think if anybody's going to be favored over.
I think Holm's going to do a Holm. Watch, Holm's going to, like Sean said, they need Aldana to win. Holm's going to pull a Holm in that fight. Watch. I'm telling you, she's going to sit. She's gonna sit back and do just enough.
The main event, she's gonna get slept 25 minutes. It's lots of time.
She'll land 14 strikes and win 3 rounds.
That is possible, I guess.
Yeah.
All right. Well, who wants to talk about that one anymore? I don't. So we can talk about this week's card and what city?
Do we have to?
City? Do we have to? That is a real question.
Dana's got fighters out the door. Just
This
fucking
might be
wanting to fight. That's why we got a stack card on fucking Saturday.
One of the
baby.
worst cards the UFC has done since like a Singapore or China card.
It's been a while.
Like a year ago.
It's been a long time. This is a
I
bad
don't even know who some of these fighters are. There's a lot of women's fights on this card.
Perfect.
Hold
There's at
on.
least 3 or 4.
Is Christina Aguilera fighting on this fight?
Oh, that's just low-hanging fruit, Wes. Come on. That's just
Phil
too easy.
Is Phil Ivy's brother going to land on the river? I mean,
Yeah, look, there's 2 40-year-old dad jokes back to back.
Oh. I know. I was trying to think of something.
He
but
said, "Is Phil Alby's brother gonna land on the river?" Like, come on, how's that worse than mine?
Oh, it's bad too. It's just such low-hanging fruit.
I got nothing on that. Who's Anthony Ivy?
It's a guy that was gonna fight fucking Meerkat if.
He's fucked.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start with this piece of trash card?
I mean, we start there, I guess.
Hey,
And
come
say,
on, Christina Aguilera beat my chode in LFA.
Big
last year.
deal.
Oh no, sorry, lost my chode.
yeah,
Got knocked
he
out.
got knocked out in the first
I
round.
fucked up. He lost.
He got KO'd by Mychode last
Inside
year.
a
He found
round.
himself in the UFC today. How'd that
Inside
happen?
a round, got fucking knocked out by my chode.
Wow.
That's
Jesus.
who's fighting on Saturday.
Brad said
Yeah,
he'd
we
be
can-
more interested in seeing Christina Aguilera versus Phil Ivey. Well,
Yeah.
That's
I'm mad at
might be the best idea I've heard tonight.
I mean, there's a reason why they call Phil Ivey's, 7
Is that,
card
is
stud.
that a blacked episode? What is that?
7 card stud.
Oh, Lance would know. Where's Lance? We need Lance on the.
I mean, good old, friend of the MMA Analysis, Bo. He's got every episode, so he would have. He might know what's
He's got
going.
the catalog,
every
baby.
episode.
He knows it's coming out on Labor Day or Halloween.
He's got every sleeve of every fucking female actress in every black episode, like all of them.
front or the back, both.
Both.
Oh fuck! Fleshlights.
we're off
Good
the
stuff.
man.
rails.
He's the opposite of Tout Kyle Marley. He is full sleeved, not sleeveless.
He said he is the complete opposite of Tao. It's fucking full sleeve.
Also good
Woo.
at that. Anyway, yeah, we'll skip that. I see Ariana Lipski's on this card. Good to look at.
Yeah, not bad, not bad.
She's facing Luana Carolina. Should win there. Jordan Griffin's taking on Derek Minner. I think Nushawn, do you have an opinion on that?
Not really.
Griffin's the guy that had like the really long kind of scraggly beard, right?
Yeah.
At one point, yeah, he's a grinder. Derek Minner's
Yeah,
kind of a grinder. Grinder versus grinder.
He looks like Donald Glover in This Is America video.
There it is.
That's
That's
what
the
Jordan
one.
Griffin looks like. He looks exactly like him.
Griffith subbed him in the second round 2 years ago. So this is kind of a weird fight. I don't know why we have to redo this.
Well, it
Once
wasn't.
again.
It wasn't in the UFC, so
True, but
it's like it never existed.
Derek Miner's also coming off a loss to Grant Dawson. So I don't know what the fuck we're doing here. So I would take Griffin. Depends how degen I want to get. There's barely anything to bet on this card. Might not be a bad idea to bet Jordan Griffin, even though he's kind of flaky.
Okay. Do you know anything about Zarek Adashev, the newcomer? He's taking on Tyson Nam, who I feel had like 9 lives. He's an Uzbek fighter. He's 27 years old.
Yeah, he only fought 4 times.
He fights out of New York City at Nick Catone's gym. He is 16. He's
4
16-3. That's his kickboxing record.
Oh, that's why he's a kickboxer. Right.
He only had 4 fights. He's 3-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Bellator knocking out some guys that were like 2 fights in and shit that Bellator were bringing in for him to fucking showcase on. So we're gonna see. Can he stop a takedown?
Yeah, he's facing a 36-year-old flyweight in Nam, who's back-to-back losses to Cara France and Sergio Pettis, which I guess really isn't that bad, but yeah. We like new talent, but this guy's only fought 4 times professionally. That's
if he keeps it on the feet, I feel like if he has a pretty decorated kickboxing record, then he can do some damage.
Our buddy listener BMR says that Lipsky fight is July 18th. So
perfect. One last chick fight. Woo!
Well, yeah. Apparently Hannah Cypher's fight is on though. Apparently she's coming back from 2 weeks' notice. Wasn't she just subbed by Dern and now she's like, I'm coming back? I guess she wants to get double paid.
I don't know. These women want it more than the men.
They usually don't bring back fighters that quickly that actually are coming off a loss. But I guess, COVID times, desperate measures.
They just want it more.
Yeah. Another women's fight, Julia Avila. I don't know who that is, against Mazzani. I mean, what are we doing here?
She's a minus 500 favorite, Jay.
Who's the minus 500 favorite?
Avila.
She has a win over Pani, Kynes. I don't know who I know. And she also beat former flyweight champion Nico Montano, okay? The most obscure UFC champion of all time.
3.5 years ago.
Look,
I took this fight to go to decision just because it was cheap. What's that?
Montano was champion like 3.5 years ago.
No, she was still in some random.
Not that long. It wasn't that long ago.
Either way, Malzahni's like one of the worst fighters on the entire roster. The entire roster, no bullshit. One of the worst.
She has a win over something called Valerie Barney in King of the Cage.
Yeah, King of the Cage doesn't even exist anymore. It's an alternate universe.
Is over Wu Yanan, or as they say in some parts of the world, Yanan Wu.
I took fight to go decision at minus 115 for a unit. I'm just gonna pray that Avila doesn't just destroy Mazzani. That's what I'll do. Because are you kidding me? Even money, I don't care how good you are. Even money on a fucking chick fight at 135.
So,
I got
Brad's arguing that Dave Mene is
the
more
most unknown.
I don't think so. I think Nico Montano is definitely more obscure.
Yeah, but she's still fighting, so people know about her.
That's the only reason why, and I'm not sure you can call that fighting. Let's move up to an actual fight, one we can actually talk about. Last fight on the prelim card. Apparently, they're both on ESPN or ESPN Plus, whatever your fancy. Kevin Aguilar, former LFA champion, tough guy, taking on submissions expert at this point. But is he really a submission expert if he just got
not after last time?
They took away his black belt. They said get that
taking
again.
on Boston's own. I'm gonna say he's Boston's own. I don't know if he's actually from Boston, but he's from over there. He's got the accent. Charlie Rosa should be entertaining. Nushan, let's start with you.
That's Boston strong, Charles Rosa.
Oh, I guess he is from Boston. Boston strong. Don't shoot.
I like Aguilar in this fight. I'm not betting him. The price is kind of skyrocketed. I thought it might have been a decent bet at like minus 160. Now he's closer to minus 185. Rosa looks so bad after that. He kind of just Rosa just never fights. And he just looked horrible against Bryce Mitchell. Now, maybe Bryce Mitchell is the shit. He does seem to be a lot better than what I thought he was, but that was almost embarrassing. So I think Kevin Aguilar can keep it on the feet and win a boring stand-up fight. But hopefully I'm wrong, because this card is needing of something good to happen.
Okay. Wes, what are your thoughts on the Aguilar Rosa fight?
Yeah, kind of a lot. What Sean said. I think Aguilar is absolutely the better guy on the feet here. Before that last fight, I would think, Rosa would be a problem if this hit the mat. I'm not so sure anymore. I mean, I know he's decent on the ground, but Aguilar's no slouch, man. I think he's a better wrestler. He's definitely, like I said, he's better on the feet than Rosa. I think it's probably going to be kind of a close fight, but decisive, if you would say. I just see Aguilar winning a decision here. Rosa's tough enough to stay in there. Just think it stays on the feet most of the time, and Aguilar outstrikes him and takes the decision. I haven't bet anything on this fight. Still, just one of those fights that feels like the line is right, and I wouldn't be shocked if something dumb happens. But I'll probably have something small on Aguilar. I like him here.
I got both these guys to C-. It's a pretty competitive fight. I didn't like what I saw from Rosa in his last fight. I mean, I guess you don't love what you saw from Aguilar either in his last fight. But I mean, I feel like Aguilar is way tougher than Rosa is, and he's also a better striker. On the feet, Aguilar is significantly better. He hits harder. He's got a better skill set.
We did it, Mama. We're back.
Yes, left turn, Larry, baby.
He's back.
With his boy running first. That's why he jumped back in.
I like Aguilar in this fight. Again, better striker, more dynamic. Rosa, I think, is just after this last couple of fights, I think it's a real fade plant. So I think this is the price is probably about right, like 2-1. I think seems fair. Brad, any thoughts on Aguilar and Rosa?
It's not a terrible fight.
No, it's not.
Neither of them has never really beat anybody good, so this will probably be pretty close to their best win, whoever gets it. I just think Rosa's probably being underrated a little bit based on his last couple of performances. So I'm tempted to bet him, but I think I'm just going to stay away from this one. I think he's going to take a decision.
Okay. Jordan Espinoza and Mark De La Rosa open up the main card, flyweight bout. I think this is like the bottom tier of the top 15. I don't know how they're each in the top 15 at this point, but I guess because the UFC
because there's only 15 of them.
Yeah, the UFC hasn't signed any new fighters in this division. All right, Nushan, start us off with this De La Rosa Espinoza fight.
Supposedly they're fighting at 135.
That's what I heard, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think both.
Doesn't matter.
These guys are both the same size, I think. Mark De La Rosa is fucking terrible. I know he's fought like decent competition, but man, like he just shows nothing in those fights. I think this is a decent matchup for Espinoza. He hasn't looked amazing in the UFC either, but he does have a pretty decent striking differential. He's got decent takedown defense, so he's going to keep it on the feet. And I think he's just going to be the better, more active striker on the feet. So I took him for 2 units at -154.
Okay, Wes.
You almost gotta agree with my boy Sean here on Espinoza. He's just had a problem when he's gotten taken down in his past couple fights, and I don't see that happening here. I think this is gonna be on the feet, like Sean said, and just a couple back, dude. Espinoza, the fight against Shelton he had was really impressive, man. If he can do that kind of stand up performance here against De La Rosa, he wins. I don't know if I can bet him though, man. I don't know about laying juice on him here. I don't think much of De La Rosa either. I did a few fights ago, but man, he just seems like he's regressed really hard and not gotten any better as a fighter his age should. But yeah, Espinoza's the pick for me here, but I'm not sure about a bit.
Okay, Brad.
Yeah, for me, I agree with the other two guys. I think that Espinoza is probably the winner here, but Rosa's talented enough a submission guy that he's kind of the dude, like he's the one that didn't show up for a fight in Legacy FC, like a championship fight, right?
Yep.
He's the kind of dude that when you put it on him, he's going to sort of fold. And you've seen that in his fights as well. But he's still got that threat that he can get an early submission. So that's enough to keep me away from betting Espinoza, but I got to pick him.
Okay. I got both guys at D+, but I like Espinoza here as well. I was pretty high on De La Rosa when he first came into the UFC, but his last few fights, he's looked aged, even though he's not that old, and just looks slow and he can't keep up. And he doesn't have the firepower that Espinoza has. Espinoza is a way better athlete, hits way harder. I mean, I guess De La Rosa could be a danger from the submission standpoint, but I don't expect him to be able to have like this to be able to get him down to the mat and really hold him down there to work that ground game. So I think it's mainly just on the feet, where Espinoza just has this power.
Hey now.
Yeah, so that's how it works. So yeah, Espinoza wins this fight. Don't love it, but you should get the job done. All right, next fight on the main card, we got this one should be good. Another Canadian on the rise. Is he in the Canadian top 10? Charles Jourdain?
Easily.
Wow.
Definitely.
Wow.
Shitty fucking the top 15 is.
I don't know. Is he one of the brothers? Where's the other brother?
Still in TKO.
Yeah,
They count as one, right?
Jourdain brothers.
Don't they count as one?
There's like the Rougeau
They're a
brothers.
package deal.
I always think they're like the
You could
Rougeau
bring
brothers.
both of them in for 2K and 2K each, and you'll be good to go. You can keep the machine running.
Oh, shit.
Well, he's taking on a real fighter here, Andre Fili, who's done pretty well in the UFC at this point of late, and near his peak, it seems, at this point. So a real test for Jourdain, see if he's really up to snuff. All right, from one Canadian to another.
We about
All
to
right,
have 1-2, Brad.
All right, Nushan, what do you got?
Yeah, this is a tough one for me. I definitely favor Andre Fili. He's looked pretty good in his last 3 fights. I know he lost against Yusuf, but we think pretty highly of Yusuf. The other 2 fights he looked really good against Moraes and Jury. I think he's obviously the longer fighter. He's a taller fighter. Obviously has a ton more experience against higher level competition. But I don't really like laying that kind of juice against with Andre Fili, just because he is flaky. He has been in the past. Maybe he's put that behind him. And Jourdain looked pretty damn good against a pretty deadly striker in Choi last time. So I'll just pick Fili. Don't really want to lay the juice, and I guess we'll see what happens. Maybe we can get a Canadian to do something in the UFC. I doubt it though.
All right, non-Canadian. Wes, are you siding with an American or a Canadian in this fight?
I'm siding with fucking Blaney to go get this fucking leader.
There you go.
I'm siding with the Canadian because I gotta have that homer pick. And you think about it, and Jourdain is basically Yair Rodriguez at this point in his career, but I think he's better than that dude was back then. And he switch kicked Fili upside his head. So I'm pretty sure that Jourdain, who's just as flashy, can do some pretty cool shit. And Fili likes to get knocked out in spectacular ways. So that's what I'm picking.
Okay.
I lean Fili here. I think he's just a more experienced guy and stuff in this spot. But Brad's even kind of tongue-in-cheek breakdown there is pretty correct. Like, how many times have we seen Fili just pull off some dumb shit and get finished? Like, Fili's one of those guys that you want to get at around even money, maybe some plus odds against a guy. You don't want to be laying minus 225 on Andre Fili. I don't care who it's against. Probably no bet for me, but pick's going to be Fili. I hope Brad's Yair head kick whole thing plays
Fever
out.
dream.
Yeah.
Steve's comment in the chat that Andre Fili looks like how Jordan Breen sounds. It's absolutely perfect.
Yeah, it is. That's
I haven't
pretty
listened to that
damn
dude in a few years since like you have to pay to listen to him or some shit
good.
now.
Once
But
they went,
from what I
Patreon,
remember. Good stuff.
Yeah, I got Fili a B-, no grade on the Canadian Wonder Boy. I like Fili in general. I think he's better than most people believe he is. I'm not giving him a proper grade until he faces a proper fighter. But let's see what happens here. I'm going to stay away from it. As I've heard a lot about Jourdain over the last few years, and maybe there finally is a Canadian hope. And Feely is Mookie. So let's see. One fight that I've been looking forward to talking about, Ray Borg taking on New Yorker Merab Dvalishvili. Georgia, New York. He's confused. We get it.
What is he from, Atlanta or New York? Come on.
I don't know. It's really hard to tell. But yeah, that's a bantamweight fight. Borg, I guess, fighting at bantamweight, moving up to bantamweight, whatever you want to call it, taking on the takedown master, Dvalishvili. Let's see if we can get Wes to focus for at some point.
Man, I'm running.
I don't think it's going to take long on
with
this one.
35 to go. 1-2 with 35 to go. What I mean, come on.
Number 3. No number 3. Yeah.
all I
Jay,
can
you don't need his breakdown. We all know that Dvalishvili's just going to take this dude down repeatedly.
About it.
Double digits. He's going for double digits.
Yes.
I said
I mean-
that Dvalishvili would get double digits against Kenny. I think he gets double digits against Borg. Borg's got decent get-up game, so he'll probably scramble to his feet and get up a decent amount. But Dvalishvili is just gonna fucking ragdoll this dude. I don't see an easy way for Borg to win this fight. I think even if it stays on the feet for a bit, he's gonna get outstruck. Dvalishvili is decent on the feet.
His boxing looked pretty good.
I don't know about that.
He's better than Borg on the feet. Come on. He's at this point, he's better than Borg
Way
on the feet.
bigger though.
Yeah, he's
size difference is gonna be huge in this fight.
size difference huge. Borg just he can't go down anymore. He's got to stay up there. He's small up there. His wrestling doesn't translate up to that weight because he's so fucking. The guys are so much bigger than him up there. He's in trouble. This is a fucking. If you need any kind of parlay piece for anything, this is it. Block that shit in.
A guy like DJ is the greatest flyweight of all time, and he wasn't big enough to wrestle at 135 when 135 was worse than it is now. So, it's just that's what it is.
135 is worse than it now than it was then.
No,
Oh.
so it's better now.
Oh,
It wasn't as good back then.
Oh, definitely not. Okay, want to make sure. So, Brad, do you have any other insights on this fight other than what you've already stated, or no?
No, there's going to be a lot of takedowns, and he's a huge number, and it's difficult to bet.
I agree with part of that statement. Wes?
I done pretty much say what I had to. I think Dvalishvili is better on the feet than Borg at this point. He's way better wrestler. Borg moving up to that weight class, he used to be a pretty good wrestler down at 25. It just guys are too big up there for him. I mean, watching him get just absolutely manhandled by Ricky Simone, who's pretty much been a striker for most of his, just absolutely manhandled Berg. I can't imagine how bad it's going to look when fucking Dvalishvili gets a hold of him. It is not going to be good for Ray Borg.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I got Borg a C-, which is at this weight maybe even lower. Dvalishvili a C+, probably closer to a B-, honestly. I mean, Dvalishvili might be this is a tough statement. He might be the best offensive wrestler not retired in the bantamweight division. How about that?
Oh, I thought you were going to say in like MMA. I thought you were going to say he's better than Khabib since you've turned on Khabib now.
No, not. Brad, watch it.
And he trains with fucking Sterling too. So
Yeah, he does. The guy
Those
secured
two
a
are
lot of
Seems
things.
ridiculous.
He kind of does remind a little bit of like young Khabib, that he didn't just hold guys down. He kind of just took you down, let you get back up, take you down again. He's got a great motor. He's got one of the best motors that I've seen. He doesn't really tire much and just goes after takedowns. I mean, in this fight, and we've seen Borg can be taken down fairly easily in this weight class. He cannot compete physically in this division. It's proven that he is okay, a above average size flyweight moving down to face one of the biggest bantamweights on the roster, a guy who's a dominant wrestler at this division. I think this is an awful matchup for Ray Borg. I'm struggling to find a way that he wins. It's almost to the point where it's what price would you not pay for Dvalishvili here? How would Dvalishvili lose his fight? A guillotine?
Yeah.
That's probably the only way, right?
on that neck that he's got, I just don't see it. I don't see him sinking anything like that in on this dude. I can't see it.
Yeah.
That would be it. Some kind of
Could he even hold it?
yeah. That's what
He's
I'm saying.
never, for the record, he's never been stopped within 15 minutes.
Yeah. It's just one.
The only one was like that weird shit after the bell.
Oh, right.
Right.
Yeah.
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 So I think this is like we're trying to extend the winning streak. We don't love a lot on this card, but we're gonna go touty.
Let's
It's
get
tout
touted.
season. They've been
Dvalishvili
dick
is-
lately, so you might as
Dvalishvili-
well
Our
put out
play
tout
is going to
special.
be touty, but it's free. So
Newshawn,
just
do you
remember
want to explain what we're doing here?
This part's going to be free. We're going to make you pay $20 for the next piece next week.
Yeah.
That's right. We're going straight tout special, 3-leg parlay with Dvalishvili, and then on next week's card we're going Curtis Blaydes and Roosevelt Roberts. So that's plus 126. Straight tout.
I wasn't. This was decided when my internet was being bullshit.
Brad's not involved in this. So
I wasn't
if
involved
you
in
this.
lose,
He'll be
you
gone
can't
again
Brad
blame
would
Brad.
would never play a
A 3-leg parlay.
like that.
Fuck no. So that's you can blame the rest
Or
of us
you-
if
you
one
could-
of these loses.
I mean, you could have a 3-team parlay. You could bet a women's fight coming up. I mean, you either. What's worse? Seriously, what's worse? This card sucks. Like, come on.
It is
Oh, it's bad.
fucking brutal. So yeah, tout special.
Oh.
They've been losing lots, so we got to give them a W
match.
on the tout side.
The co-main event, the match that was made, that never happened, but now it's happening again. Mr. Vittori was not very happy with Mr. Roberson after.
Roid rage.
Yeah, definitely maybe roid rage. Got to check the pimple
Oh,
back.
If it's roid rage, then you got to bet on him.
Yeah.
oh yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The
I
guys
was
that are
gonna,
juicing.
I was gonna bet on him last time. I'm sad it got fucking canceled because I knew he was roid raging after that shit came out. I was like, fuck. He's a
It was
lot.
a lot better price last time.
Carl Roberson.
Yep.
Marvin Vittori. Okay, middleweight. Newshawn, here's your thoughts here.
I think Vittori should win. He's fought and beat the better competition. He seems like he's got a pretty good gas tank. I got minus 160 last time, and there's no chance I got that this time, so I'm just passing. I think it could be somewhat of a close fight if Roberson, can stay on his feet and just fight how he can fight at times. But Vittori is the much stronger guy. I think he can win on the feet or on the ground. So I'll stay away from betting it, but I'll pick Vittori.
Okay. Brad?
Yeah, I feel like I've broken this fight down before, but I can't remember what I thought about this fight because I don't really have any feelings towards it. I think Vittori probably clinches him up and gets a decision, and it's not great.
Yeah, Brad's pretty much exactly right. Vittori is the much stronger guy here. His clinch game is really good. Like Sean said, he's got a good gas tank now. He used to have a little bit of problems with it, but he's got that fucking that Lance Armstrong fucking blood transfusion or some shit going on because his gas tank's been holding up fairly well. He's been in there with way better competition. You can see the improvements in his game. And just it really comes down, like Brad said, this is going to be an ugly clinch battle and shit. And Vittori's just better at it than he is, and he's just strong. He's the stronger guy. I like him here. I got him with Dvalishvili in one of my parlays at a little bit better price. Both of them's gone up since then. So, but I like that parlay. That's probably my favorite parlay on the entire card.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess that makes me up. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir.
All right. Roberson D+, Vittori C. I kind of like a soft spot for Carl Roberson, but he's really just a striker, and he doesn't have an all-around MMA skill set. Vittori's really made efforts to be a better all-around fighter. He's become a better striker. He's developed better endurance. He can wrestle a bit. I mean, he's not a great fighter, but he's an all-around fighter. And at some point, you just have to side with all-around fighter versus a guy that's like has like, quick knockout type actions. So I'm going to side with Vettori as well. I just think he's an MMA fighter. MMA fighter versus striker. Sometimes it's as simple as that. Main event, and whoop is this. This has to be one of the worst main events in UFC history.
It's
one of the worst ever.
Brad, is this the worst main event in UFC history?
If there's a worse one, I don't remember what it is.
Not a good sign.
Nico Montano versus Roxanne Modafferi a main event at one point.
At least that had some sort of purpose.
Yeah, that's fair.
It wasn't as bad as this one though.
Wow, that's
was Steven Smolka and Patty Holohan as bad as this, and that was like the third main event choice in a day.
That was a hilariously good fight in the end.
That was a great fight.
Yeah.
So like maybe this turns out to be a great fight, but it seems like it's going to be an absolute garbage fight, and I honestly don't really like. I'll take Turk out for a walk, and then I'll go to bed.
End of the night.
Yeah.
And then you'll wait to see if Wes is going to rant after that bullshit?
Like, I'll probably have it on my phone while I'm out on the walk, but the primary thing will be the walk.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Come on, dog.
New Sean.
I took Cynthia Calvillo for 1 unit at plus 100. There's not much to bet on this card. This is kind of pushing it. She is coming up in weight, but she missed weight a bunch of times, so she should be a 125er. Jessica I is just fucking terrible. She's got pretty shitty takedown defense. Calvillo might be able to get her down and sub her. I don't think Calvillo will be lost on the feet against Jessica I just because she's nothing special either. So
a lot of mooks.
I had to take that. There's a lot of mookie shit going on. It's just a 1 unit play, and fuck. This is a brutal event.
Fuck, bro.
What'd he do?
He's trying to cause a fucking wreck with 3 to go, and I got the leader. Like, chill the fuck out, dog.
Rattled.
All right.
But Wes, can you break down a Cynthia Calvillo, Jessica I main event right
when
now?
He's watching something that he's got actual money on and actually cares about. Incredible. There's got to be a yellow coming up that I just haven't caught up to yet.
No, not yet. I'm just Bubba's. Fuck, dude.
Bubba's driving up through the field, okay? It's better late than never.
Bubba's only got 4 laps to get in first, all right? So chill, Wes.
He might end up in the top 10.
Come on, make it to the white flag. Make it to the white flag. Make it to the white flag.
All right.
Make it to the white flag. All right. And Jessica I absolutely is trash. I don't know how she got a main event. Dana's got a micro or something, and she's got pics of it. That's it's the only fucking way that she's got a main event fight. And I however you feel about Calvillo, you have to fade Jessica I here at even money. You have to. You got just take a DGen bet. This card sucks. She probably ain't betting a lot on it anyway. Take a little bet against an I fade, and it's going to hit for you more often than not. So give me Calvillo. Give me fucking truth, baby. Come on. Let's go.
At least we got that on video. At least we got that on video. You might have
2 plus 650 plus 1325. 1-2.
Only one of them counts.
700. Thanks, Wes.
Let's go. Like if you got 700, you fucking prick.
If you guys aren't following Wes or asking about NASCAR or anything, like, smarten up.
Come on,
Sean, you got to put this into the intro of the show. I feel just like his little thing.
Oh yeah.
Anyway,
might not be this week. Might be next week. We'll see.
That's fine. Where were we?
It's you. You shitty main event.
I got both of these. Oh man. I got Calvillo. It's tough. I got both of them as C+. This is tough. Because I is so much better on the feet. She's a way better striker. Calvillo's a terrible striker and has no idea what to do on the feet. And I feel like every single fight, her mind is like farther away from fighting. Like she like left alpha male. It got weird. Like she doesn't care. Like you see how she fights. It's worse. Like at least I actually cares. And she's like in her proper weight class. Like when I fights at flyweight, she actually seems to like care. Like any other weight class, she's like completely lost. But in this weight class, she cares. But at the same time, we've seen how bad Ai is on the ground, and Calvillo's like only skill set is like being dangerous on the feet or on the mat rather, or going for submission. So there is a danger, but on the feet, like Ai is just so vastly superior. If she can just avoid, like some sort of, just some sort of submission and a scramble, she's going to win this fight going away. So I'll take Ai here, but stay away because how this is going. It could play out either way. Like there are two viable scenarios. You could literally bet Calvillo by sub and then like Ai straight, and you make money.
It's gonna be one of the mookiest fucking main events.
I mean, how could Calvillo win otherwise? She's not knocking out Ai, and she's not winning a decision.
I mean, you don't think that Calvillo couldn't outstrike Jessica Ai a little bit and take some rounds?
No.
Seriously?
No.
Dude,
I will come back on next week if she outstrikes her, and we'll have this conversation.
Oh shit!
All right.
Calvillo by decision is only plus 200.
My internet was fucking up earlier. Actually, it wasn't my internet. It was my power cord from my laptop. When I was gone, I was taping it up with a little bit of electrical tape, getting it working again. Just to be with you fine folks. But things I would rather bet than this fight are Anthony Ivy.
Wrote in the chat, by the way.
Anthony Ivy by TKO, for sure.
Prop Brad, come on.
Jordan Griffin, just take it straight. He beat him before. He'll probably sub him again, so you can take that too. And Tyson Nam is going to get knocked out. He is a striker, and he is not good at this point. He's 36 years old. He hasn't had a good win in 10 years. He's going to get knocked out by this dude. He's not going to take him down, and he's going to get smoked.
Is that a high confidence play, Brad?
Yes.
Plus 255 for inside the distance.
Brad, would this be a 5-unit play for you? Would you post this?
No, because
Scud
I have had sex with a girl before.
Oh.
No proof. No children. No proof. Okay. Well.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm more likely to watch those fights at the start of the night than still be awake by the end of the night. So,
as long as you can appreciate what Steve wrote about Dana and Jessica Ai in the chat.
Steve's the man. If you don't follow him, you gotta follow that cat. That guy's hilarious, man. He's lived over in the States for a while, but he's originally from over across the pond, dude. He's got that British fucking humor to him. He's a funny fucking dude, man.
He's like MMA trader.
He's a funny cat, man. I like that dude.
Well, at least next week's card's actually pretty decent.
So it's excellent. What are you talking about?
Continuously shit on cards.
There's 10 good fights on next week's card.
There's
what's the co-main event?
Blaydes and Volkov.
Isn't that the main event?
It is the main event.
What's the co-main event?
Oh, sorry. I'll look at that right now. It's they don't think they've really announced it. Well, you have Emmett and Burgos fighting, which should be excellent.
That's a great one.
I would take that as a main event.
Lyman Good and Bilal Muhammad's on there. Oh, we got Jim Teacher versus Pennington. That's
a trash can fight.
Tisha Torres is on the card. Someone's girlfriend. Camacho versus Matt Frevola. Clay Guida versus Bobby Green.
Four women's fights again.
Jim Miller versus Roosevelt Roberts. We've been talking about. There's at least there's some name recognition on this card. It's
significantly better than this week.
Oh,
that's also not saying much.
It's not saying anything, but it's absolutely true.
I'm just trying to be diplomatic here, guys.
Yeah, after the internet fiasco, he's got he's trying to get back. He's trying to get back in the good graces of the Ontario government, so he can get proper internet service.
There's some idiots out there, man. There's
a lot of them. They'll get you.
A lot of them follow MMA.
Yeah.
It might be a little more highly concentrated.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things. Yeah.
That might do it.
I think that does it for this week's show. Well, assuming Dvalishvili wins, we'll still have an opportunity. We'll find out next week, or actually the week after.
We might have
if we're on a real winning streak. We might have 2 consensus bets next week.
Yeah,
actually 3 because we're part of the parlay.
we have to have a real bet next week.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of.
There's some good spots.
I think I know exactly what fight it's going to be.
Yeah.
I have a very good feeling I know what fight we're going to be siding on. But we'll talk about that after the show. All right. Well, that does it. We'll be back next week. Try to enjoy the fights as much as you can. I know it's going to be difficult.
Or punch yourself in the dick. Either way.
Good night.
Just